Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our channel, US Wealth Hub. We hope you're doing great. In this video, we're going to talk about green card holders handed big legal win amid Trump administration crackdown. In a significant blow to the Trump administration's hardline immigration tactics, the Third Circuit Court of Appeals delivered a major legal victory to green card holders. The court ruled that the Department of Justice overstepped its bounds in trying to revoke lawful permanent residency without following proper legal procedures. If you're interested in this topic, please pay attention and watch the video through to the end to get all the information. Please hit like and subscribe, and don't forget to push the notification bell for an upcoming video. The Third Circuit Court of Appeals ruled on Tuesday that the Department of Justice cannot unilaterally revoke a green card, calling the government approach antithetical to the separation of powers and a violation of Congress's authority in a case pertaining to a lawful permanent resident. A DOJ spokesperson declined to comment when contacted by Newsweek on Wednesday. Newsweek has contacted the petitioner's counsel for comment via email. Why it matters. The court's decision pushes back on the Trump administration's desire to be able to reconsider and potentially revoke an individual's lawful permanent residency, which could have sweeping implications for millions of permanent residents. President Donald Trump has pledged to launch the largest mass deportation operation in U.S. history, and immigrants residing in the country illegally and legally with valid documentation, such as green cards and visas, have been detained. Newsweek has reported dozens of cases involving green card holders and applicants who were swept up in immigration raids and various arrests. A Customs and Border Protection warning published on July 9 said, "Possessing a green card is a privilege, not a right." It added that legal residents arriving at a port of entry with prior criminal convictions may be detained in advance of removal proceeding. What to know? In a Tuesday ruling, a court said the Board of Immigration Appeals, which is part of the DOJ's Executive Office for Immigration Review, lacked the authority to unilaterally revoke the legal permanent status of Mohammed Kadhanani, a longtime New Jersey imam. Kadhanani, who is Palestinian, has spent more than 2 decades seeking permanent residency in the United States. In 1996, he was admitted to the U.S. on a work visa, and 3 years later he applied to adjust his status to a lawful permanent resident. However, federal officials cited alleged ties to Hamas, allegations that Kadhanani has denied. An immigration judge twice made fact findings and credibility determinations in Kadhanani's favor and granted his application to adjust to LPR status. The IJ issued those orders in 2008 and 2020 respectively, the case said. However, the 2008 order never became final because the Department of Homeland Security appealed and the BIA vacated it. Although DHS did not appeal the second ruling within the required 30 days, the BIA later ordered Kadhanani's removal, a decision he appealed. Tuesday's opinion, written by Circuit Judge Ariana Freeman, a Biden appointee, said the BIA exceeded its authority when it attempted to undo Kadhanani's adjustment to LPR status by using an agency regulation in a manner inconsistent with the procedures set out by Congress in the Immigration and Nationality Act, adding that it came long after the 30-day period. Freeman continued, "Accordingly, we granted Kadhanani's petition for review and vacated the BIA's order, thereby asserting that the immigration judge's 2020 order granting Kadhanani permanent residency was upheld." Later in the opinion, she wrote, "The implications of the Justice Department's argument are extraordinary. Under this reading of agency authority, the government has carte blanche to evade the limits Congress imposed on the executive's discretionary authority over adjustments to LPR status and to circumvent the procedures Congress mandated for rescission of such adjustments." Freeman continued, "The government position is antithetical to the basic concept of separation of powers. We therefore reject it." Judge Paul Mady, whom Trump appointed to the court, wrote in his dissent, "For more than a quarter century, 5 presidents and 10 attorneys general have objected to Mohammed Kadhanani's presence in our nation." He concluded, "Seeing no constitutional claim or legal question that warrants granting petition, and mindful we lack jurisdiction to review the executive's discretionary decision not to grant Kadhanani a status adjustment, I would deny the petition and so respectfully dissent." What people are saying. Amelia Wilson, an assistant professor of law and the director of the Immigration Justice Clinic at Pace University, told Newsweek, Under Trump, the Department of Justice has repeatedly sought to usurp congressional lawmaking authority, rewrite the Constitution, and upset the balance of power. The judiciary's duty is to safeguard the people against such abuse of government conduct and executive overreach. The Third Circuit did just that yesterday by guaranteeing that, at least for now, the department must observe the basic mandates of due process. Bradford Bernstein, a managing partner at Spar Bernstein, previously told Newsweek, in this case, the government is arguing that it can revoke a green card years or even decades after it was granted, based solely on a claim that an immigration judge did not complete all the administrative steps required to finalize the grant of permanent residency. The immigrant involved was granted a green card by a judge, and the government failed to appeal within the standard 30-day window. Under well-established legal principles, that decision should be considered final. Yet the government now claims that because of a procedural oversight by the judge or the immigration service, it can still rescind the green card long after the fact. Customs and Border Protection wrote on X on July 8, having a criminal history does not make you an upstanding lawful permanent resident. Possessing a green card is a privilege, not a right. Under our nation's laws, our government has the authority to revoke your green card if our laws are broken and abused. In addition to immigration removal proceedings, lawful permanent residents presenting at a U.S. port of entry with previous criminal convictions may be subject to mandatory detention. U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services wrote on X on May 5th, green cards and visas will be revoked if an alien breaks the law, supports terrorism, overstays their permitted visit time, performs illegal work, or anything else that violates the terms on which we granted them this privilege or compromises the safety of our fellow Americans. What happens next? The BIA's order has been vacated against Katanani and maintains that he is a lawful permanent resident. This landmark ruling not only reinstates Imam Muhammad Katanani's green card, but also reinforces constitutional checks on executive power. For millions of green card holders, it affirms that due process still holds firm even amid aggressive immigration crackdowns. That is all for today in this video. What are your thoughts on this? Please let us know in the comments section below. Thanks for watching the entire video. Hopefully, the information is useful to you. See you later in the next video. Till then, take care.
Green card holders handed big legal win and Trump administration crackdown. The Third Circuit Court of Appeals ruled that the Department of Justice overstepped its authority by attempting to revoke Imam Muhammad Qatnani green cards, reforming that only Congress, not executive agencies, can dictate immigration procedures. Qatnani, a Palestinian who has lived in the US for over 2 decades, was granted lawful permanent resident status twice by immigration judges. However, the DOJ, Board of Immigration Appeals, attempted to reverse this without following statutory procedures. Court led by Judge Arena Freeman condemned the DOJ overreach as a violation of separation of powers and due process. The ruling rebukes Trump-era immigration tactics and has a broader implications for millions of green card holders. While dissenting, Judge Paul Matty defended the government stance. Legal experts hailed the decision as a victory for constitutional safeguards, despite Customs and Border Protection asserting that a green card is a privilege. The court decision reinstates Qatnani LPI status and restricts DOJ unilateral power.